Welcome to another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous, coming to you 6 days a week as we interview whitetail experts and hear their traditions and personal stories of the hunt. Learn more about the latest gear, discover proven tips, and the latest strategies so you can make your next hunt a success. Now, here's your host, Bruce.
Here's a hot special for all Whitetail Rendezvous listeners. The Hunting Buddy app is giving away an all expenses paid free-range whitetail hunt at ABC New York Ranch this fall. You'll be hunting with NASCAR driver Spencer Boyd and the Hunting Buddy team, all the while being filmed by a professional film crew from Rush Outdoors, as seen on the Pursuit channel. To enter the contest for free, go to huntingbuddy.app.com. Click the Huge Hunt Giveaway section tab and download the app. When you upgrade to the Outfitter plan, you get 30 additional giveaway entries. Hunting Buddy app is your best choice for staying safe in the woods with their patent-pending safety notification system. So lunar information including peak game, activity times, current and future weather forecasts, land ownership, hunting waypoints, group hunting, and so much more, all for free from Hunting Buddy app. That's HUNT apostrophe N BUDDY app.
Hutchin.
Hey folks, we got a new sponsor. It's called Buckwild Coffee. What's so special about Buckwild Coffee? Well, a gazillion people go to Starbucks every day and drink coffee. Well, why shouldn't Buckwild Coffee offer you light, medium, or dark roast with free shipping? All you have to do is go to whitetailrendezvous.com, go to shop, and order your coffee, and I'll ship it out for free. Welcome to another episode of Whitetail Rendezvous. Hey, folks, this is kind of fun for me. I'm going to head back east, actually, to Long Island, New York, where I went to high school at Massapequa High School. So any listeners are hearing this and they were in the class of 64, send me an email at whitetailrendezvous.com and say hi to Hutch. Anyway, I got Joe Rogan. He's from Long Island, and he's created an app called Hunting Buddy. Joe, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Hey, what the heck is this all about? You know, we get together and talked on social media, and I said, man, we should put a show together. So, hey, let's talk about the beginning of Hunting Buddy, why it exists, and we'll go from there.
Sounds good. Pretty much after years of hunting and trying to start incorporating new hunters into the field, we just wanted to get something going that can teach and help experienced hunters and obviously novice hunters that are brand new to the whole aspect. And I came up with a few ideas and put it on paper, checked out other apps in the market, and just try to come up with something that was simple but yet had any feature that would be necessary for just the everyday hunter to use to get from point A to point B, to log data, to do mapping, and just give an extra set of eyes pretty much in the field where sometimes that's needed when there's a lack of communication between other hunters, and it's just I felt it was a necessary tool that wasn't on the market for hunters that, we all have our phones with us, and that's just where I kind of founded this whole idea from.
So Hunting Buddy, and we're gonna go share the screen now, and we're gonna go to Firefox, and we're gonna go to, what's the name of just Hunting Buddy, www.huntingbuddy.com.
HUNTBUDDY huntingbuddy.app.com.
Here we go. All right, so it's a free hunting app in the App Store and Google Play, right? Tell us about it. Tell us, sure. Tell us about it.
Yep. So it's 100% free. We did this on purpose as well. We'd like to keep all the features that we offer for everybody to use, everybody to test, everybody to try out. There's no trial period. There's no monthly subscription. The app itself is free. We do offer a yearly subscription for $29.99. That's for parcel data. But there is on the free version, you get 8 parcel selections per month. Pretty much its main feature is it does mapping. You can post waypoints. You can look up parcel selections, parcel data. There's trail camera settings. You can take pictures off of your trail cameras, implement them into your phone, drop them on a waypoint. So that'll be stored. If you have a trophy buck that you take down and you want to take a picture of it and remember the exact location where it is, you can take that as well, log it into the app. One key feature with the mapping is there's a group hunt feature where if you and I both go out into the field, you go on a property that I own, you've never been there before, I don't have to go through the whole process of this is one stand, this is the next trail. All I have to do is send you a friend request. As long as you have the app, you accept. I invite you to a hunt. Now we're both live on our phones on a group hunt. You see every parcel selection that I've selected, every waypoint that I've put down, and my location, my live location, and I see your live location as well. So in theory, I'm sharing all my data with you who could have just walked off, never been on my property before, and have full access to everything. And just to speak on that, there is a feature within that you can hide a waypoint or hide anything that you don't want another hunter to see, because we all know that everybody has their little secret honey holes that maybe you just want to keep to yourself. And so we made sure after some, I don't want to say complaints, but some questions from subscribers, we added that feature in, and that seems to be well liked by most users. There's also a weather feature, which gives detailed weather, the forecast, barometric pressure, 7-day forecast. Then there's a solar lunar feature, which some people swear by, some people think it's a hoax, but I personally use it and I like it. It goes by the moon, the tides. There's a peak game activity time, which I found myself that does work. And, given different scenarios and during the rut and stuff, I know things get thrown off, but there is some truth to that. There's many books out on it, and we felt that was necessary to be put in. There's an alarms and reminder feature, which is basic as any phone has. You can set up an alarm, and we wanted to put this into the app to gear it that if you have something specific for your hunt or for your big day, it will come up on the hunting app. It's not a separate in your calendar with other business or other personal reminders. So we wanted to put a separate one within the app. One of our flagship features is the SNS system. It's a safety notification system with patent pending technology on it that you can select any contact in your phone book, and you can select multiple contacts if you want, and set up, enable the SNS location, and then it'll automatically send out a text message to your selections of your latitude, longitude, where you're hunting, and then a Google map that pops open to your specific location. Once this is enabled in your phone, you don't have to be continually using the app. You can throw the app in your bag, your pocket, keep hunting, and as long as it's enabled, every hour on the hour, it'll automatically resend a text message. Joe has moved to this property. Joe's at this property. Bruce is at this property. That until you disable it. So that has multi aspects of use, but the main feature obviously is for safety. And I've hunted alone a lot of times. I know other people that hunt alone. I have some family that have medical issues that hunt alone. I have my own medical issues. So that was something that is very personal to me. And if, God forbid, anyone of my family gets into an issue and doesn't come back when they're supposed to, at least using this app, we know where to find them.
What about land ownership, like Onyx Maps?
Yep.
What about land ownership?
Yep. So we have, it's pretty much the same data. We pull from 97.5% of the United States, parcel data, the owner's names, ownership name, the acreage that they own, all that stuff. So that's again, that was where the subscription comes in. It is free up to 8 parcel selections per month. Every month it recycles, and then you have 8 more. And every other feature that I just spoke about is all free. The only paid subscription that would be is if you wanted more than 8 parcel selections per month, then you would buy the paid version, and that would give you unlimited parcels for all 50 states. That's another big thing that we offer, even on the free version, all 50 states parcel selections. Some other companies limit it to per state, and we've decided that we wanted to share the wealth with everyone, and that's where we came up with that feature.
Now, have you integrated this with game management units throughout the country?
We're in the process of that. I was previously in law enforcement, and we have some connections with that we're working on now. So,
because that would be huge. I know, the Onyx Maps does that, and a number of other companies do that, and it's so helpful because I'm hunting a state I don't know. I'm in Wyoming. I'm in Unit 67, and I get an antelope tag, and I'm going. There's no fence. I mean.
Right.
But you say, okay, is that private land, public land? Who owns that land? Because I don't want to get in a situation. I just don't want to do it.
Right.
So, to have that ability to say, here's where I am. I'm right on the boundary. So it's a no-go or, whatever.
Yep.
So why did you create it? Give me the backstart. I mean, you're pretty smart. How did you create this?
Pretty much a friend of mine, good friend of my brother's, wanted to get into hunting, and we took him hunting, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago. He's a super smart kid, and just around 25, 26. He works in Manhattan, and told me, listen, I have some dealings with making apps and the whole 9 yards. And then, of course, my brain starts turning, and maybe a year later, I told him some ideas he had. He said, write it all down and we'll see what we can do. So pretty much, long story short, I came up with a whole plan, idea of this, that, and implemented it, pushed it forward, and just started rolling with it. And that's where I pretty much used all personal experiences throughout my life to come up with majority of these features and functions that are in the app. So I don't want to say it was easy, but it came to me pretty quick because I've had a lot of good and bad experiences through the years, I'm sure, as any hunter. And that's, how we got to where we are now. So,
yeah, when you think about it, where did your hunting tradition come from?
So that's a long story. Might need 2 podcasts, but since I don't know, maybe when I first original experience I had was in upstate New York with my Uncle Larry. My family went to visit them. They had a river cottage, and from being born and raised in Long Island, going there was pretty much the equivalent to like the Alaskan wilderness that I say. And I know that sounds silly maybe to some people, but that's how I felt at 12 years old, however old I was. So my Uncle Larry, lifelong hunter. His son's a hunter. He's about 10 years older than me. And they pretty much showed me, how to handle a firearm, or a BB gun at the time. I thought it was a big firearm, but and that's where I practiced with a BB gun, and then went on a few squirrel hunts and chipmunk hunts. And then from there, I would go, my dad started deer hunting, and I started going with them, and I was still underage, so I wasn't allowed to carry a firearm, but just being there, watching, all the grown-ups pretty much do their thing, and just sitting back and learning. I've always just watched things. It's just how I am. And that was pretty much like, I knew that I wanted to do that, and that was just what, I don't know, I just felt it. Then once I was old enough to hunt, my family bought a house same area as my Uncle Larry, and we started our own little hunting camp, I guess you'd call it. And every deer season we would come up. Everybody worked, obviously, long hours and stuff. So this was like our vacation for the year, and my uncles and my cousins, we would all gear up and talk about it, for the month coming up to it, and then we would celebrate the night before opening day of deer season. We would have a big feast, and I would try to get wild game from somewhere or from the previous year and make some dishes. That's pretty much what led up to, going to that. And then in 2011, my dad was diagnosed with cancer, and that kind of threw a wrench into everything. And we just kind of all fell apart from that. And he ended up passing away in 2014. And our whole hunting camp and everything, we've never done it again. So I was left with, I want to still hunt, but at the same time, I just felt bad. And I also have some medical issues that kind of limit me. And this goes back to with the app that it's somewhat of a helping hand, I guess, when you're alone, or if you need some, just I can make sure that plot things are things that normally you would do with a group, you can kind of do on your own. So I want this to spiral into a platform for new hunters to use it as a social method of hunting together. There's group features. There's, oh, hey, did you check this feature out? And then that'll bring more hunters together. I feel then, it is hard and everyone has their own groups. And this is a way, almost like a social platform to reach out to other people to get them involved and engaged in hunting in a different way than we grew up with, type of, that's, the main meat and potatoes of it.
Yeah, tell me about your first deer.
So I was, I'd say, 19. It was me, my dad, my Uncle Paul, my Uncle Larry, and my Uncle Larry's son Lawrence. And we were at our friend's property. That's actually a funny story. My uncles, my dad always joked with me. I had a ground blind. We were hunting off of like a gravel pit, and there was people would dump in there, and then so I found a little love seat, and I dragged it in the woods with my four-wheeler, put the ground blind over it, and set up a shooting rest on it, and I had a little heater, and this was back in the early 2000s, and everyone was making fun of me, like they're all sitting on cushioned hot seats in the dirt, and I'm sitting in a recliner with a ground blind around me and everything. So it was second day after opening day, and where we hunted in New York is shotgun only at the time. So I had a Mossberg 870 pump. I had a cantilever scope mount with a Bushnell. I still use it. Bushnell scope on it, and it was, I'd say, maybe 8:30 in the morning, and I see a buck come out about 75 yards downrange from me, and I'm watching him. I get a broadside. I have my gun up. I don't even know how I possibly hit him because I was shaking so much. It sounded like there was an earthquake in the ground blind. The whole thing was just rattling, and I lined up. I got steady, took a shot, and he actually dropped right where I hit him. My dad and Uncle Paul, I don't know how, they were 500 yards away from me, probably more. I look up, and they're there. They were so excited because they knew I shot, and my Uncle Larry was there. He showed me how to field dress, and it was just a bonding experience that I have never gotten any other place, throughout my life. And that's just kind of set in how much of that that's like in your blood, I think, that just made me, and it's not about getting or harvesting the animal at all either. It's just about the whole experience, and everyone teaches different things. We dragged it out together, we celebrated afterwards, and that's, it's just something that, I guess it's one of those things that obviously everyone listening is most likely hunters, but you don't know the feeling until you actually experience it, and it's almost undescribable, well, to me at least. So
yeah, how would you describe that to a non-hunter, not somebody that's anti-hunting, but somebody just doesn't understand hunting, never been? How do you take your story and draw them into it? I mean, because you just told a great story, and maybe that's as simple as it is, but in our battle for recruitment, we need to reach people that have never had that experience. How do we do that?
Yeah, so that's something that I've, I guess, evolved since I'm a little older now, and I don't want to say wiser, but when I was younger, I used to be a little aggressive about that because I don't want to say my views, but I knew what I was doing was humane, right, and ethical. And some people would just say the word hunting and they'd jump down your throat, and then I would get somewhat combative, I guess. Now, though, I'm at the point where, one, if you don't want to hear it, if you're an anti-hunter, I respect that. Don't obviously bring upon me that, your views if I'm not going to do that to you. But at the same time, if it's someone that just doesn't hunt, and I have a lot of family that doesn't hunt, friends that don't hunt, and they make jokes, but they respect it. And I honor that more, I think, than the person screaming at you. And you get all right, pretty much Long Island. All my friends, 90% of them don't hunt, never hunted, never will hunt. If you said, I'll give you $1 million to go out in the woods, they wouldn't do it, type of thing. But they respect what I do, and they respect how I do it. And I've just started trying to process my own meat, and I cook everything, I eat everything. So it's something that you have to, I feel, experience. And I would encourage someone that's not an anti-hunter, but just someone that has an open mind to even just go and experience it. It's just being one with nature, and something that you just can't get anywhere. You can't get anywhere else. Then I don't know. It's you either feel it or you don't feel it, type of thing. And that's just I don't know. That's just what I can say to try to explain it to someone. You just have to, if you have an open mind and want to learn or want to see what it's about and where we came from, where hundreds of years ago our ancestors did as a way of life, you're going to feel that. And that's just what it means to me. And
that works. Do you still have the cabin up north?
Yes. Yep.
So, why don't you invite some people up and start doing it again?
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah, I know. We got to do something. We've got a buddy of mine and my brother. We're working on a couple things that we're trying to set up, trying to involve with the app, and just again involve getting it going again. That's still somewhat raw, and
when Pops isn't there, it's hard. I get it.
I got to keep it alive, and that's what he want us to do, and we're working on a couple things. So
yeah,
I'm not gonna go.
That's great.
Save that for another episode, but we've got a couple things.
Well, good. Yeah, because I'd like to see how this journey goes and watch you guys, because a lot of people have come on and there's a lot of great apps, because if you know what you're doing, you can create an app and get it out there, and they all work. And in one shape or fashion, and I'm not an expert. There's plenty of people out there. Google, hunting apps, and you're gonna find them. But it like you said, and I think you said it a number of times. It's the personal part of it that when you want to be safe, and to send automatically send every hour, those email addresses, and there's a number of apps out there that do well and very successful doing that. And the thing is, hunting, it's challenging physically, and we're entering in a period. I know in Colorado that we have a lot of growers. Weed is legalized in Colorado. Well, they've been using the public lands to grow, for a long time, but now there's more pressure on that. So that puts more people that could care less about hunting. They're just up there, growing. And so, to have the additional safety feature, lat lawn and all that, it's a real thing. And people say, "Oh, you're crazy. It doesn't happen." Yeah, it does happen. 2 years ago, I was in the wilderness, and we were approached. Nothing happened. Everything backed off. I got the heck out of there. Me and my partner just get the heck out of there. I didn't want any part of it. Knew what was happening, and just said, "Hey, I'm backing up. I'm leaving. Just we're out of here. We're gone." And you think about that, and you go, "Man, that's kind of different." And it's no different living in New York, as I did a long time ago. Stuff happens in New York, and you just got to have situational awareness, but have a tool that you can, with a couple of clicks, people know exactly where you are, what the situation is, and can send help.
Yeah.
Not to mention a broken arm or some accident type of thing, but some other types of things that could happen. So I think there's a big need for these types of apps in the marketplace, and I'll look forward to testing yours out. That's for sure this summer. And when you think about you today, and if you knew X 10 years ago, that made you a better hunter. So say it another way, I sure wish I knew that 10 years ago, because I would have been able to harvest more deer. So I call it the one big thing.
Yeah.
So what's your one big thing?
That's easy. This is probably the one big thing in life. Patience. Patience to me, I mean, I'm still going 100 miles a minute. I have a cervical fusion at a spinal injury, and that kind of rocked my world and pretty much made me change every single aspect of my life, including obviously hunting. I have 5 herniated discs, 1 collapsed disc in my lumbar. So I'm pretty limited to what I can do physically and sitting and that whole thing. So that kind of forced me to have more patience and rethink everything. But going back to the original question, sometimes letting that spike go by or letting that 4-point go by and the big guy comes out. Actually, I don't know if you can see right behind the biggest deer I got, which got in 2015, the big 8-point. I had a 4 and a spike come out about an hour before this guy. It was opening day, 7 in the morning. The second deer I was going to take, and then I said, I'm going to wait. Got to have patience. Got to remember. Because so many times I've done that, and then trail cam or the neighbor or buddy, someone down the road gets the big guy who was there, but let the little guys come out first. And so I waited. I remembered, to take a breath, let him go, and wait for the big guy. If it doesn't come, it's okay. And this guy came walking out, started going away from me. I grunted, turned about 65 yards, hit him, and went about 40 yards, and that was it. So that's something that when I was younger, I would, be all gung-ho trying to, I don't want to say shoot the first thing I see, but harvest a deer. And that's all I cared about. Now it's a little more, I know that there's management, and then there's the hunting for, if you're hunting and you want, I don't want to use the word trophy, but if you want to get a big whitetail, then sometimes patience is the really deciding factor if you're going to get it or not. I try to teach that. My brother hunts with me a lot. I try to teach that to him. He's in his 20s and was probably just like me and just wants to get the first thing he sees because he's excited, and that's the way we all feel. And that's something that I just continue to tell myself. And like I said, physically, I kind of have I had to relearn that and have a lot more patience with everything I do now because I can't do things as fast. But that's something that I would think I would be a better hunter back, 10 years ago than I was now. I just slowed down a bit and assessed and then went at it.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, because we all have little things that impact us, and I think we have to mature into it. We have to mature into deer hunting, and some families, it's they're hunting for meat, and any legal game on their farm that's what it is, and they're going to use it to feed their family, for the next year. And go ahead. There's other guys. I haven't shot a whitetail in a number of years for a couple of different reasons, but I've let a lot pass because it's just I finally realized, it's got to be a special deer. The deer over my shoulder is a special deer. I shot him in Iowa a few years ago, and I really haven't shot a deer since then. Shot some does and stuff for food. But having said that, it's kind of fun because you don't get all crazy inside, which I used to, and I still do when I get excited. But you know what you're looking for. And I talked to a guy last night. He said, Preston Mullins, and he says, if I reach for my bow, I'm going to shoot that deer. If I don't reach for my bow, then it's nice deer, and I'm going to let him go. But if I go for my bow, my mind's already made up. I'm shooting. I'm shooting. So we all do it differently, and it's just it's just that we all learn at different levels. I guess that's the word I want to say. And so when we move forward, in a hunting experience, the more we learn, the more we can share with other people. And that comes back to recruitment and taking kids out and women out and making sure other people, have the same opportunities, that we did. When you look at your gear, what are you shooting? Talk to me about your gear.
Well, like I said, I mainly hunted in New York, and up until this past year, they just passed you could use a rifle now, but you could always use you would always use only shotgun only in the county that I hunted in. Some parts of New York you can use rifle, or so I mainly I started maybe 5 years ago transitioning into muzzle loaders, Remington Genesis 50 caliber. Or the same 870 that I had since I'm 18 years old, 870 breast with the cantilever scope, same scope and everything. I've never Sabot slug. It works, so I never upgraded or changed, or I don't want to say upgrade because that's a good gun, but that's what I usually just go to. I do bow hunt. I do have some issues with that whole thing with my injuries, but I like to bow hunt. I have yet to find the bow that's comfortable to practice with. One shot, I'm okay, but so that's I don't hunt as much as I would love to, but that's gonna be here, so that's I'll take it. At least I can, like I said, I take other people out, teach people that want to learn, and that's more to me than harvesting my own animal. If I can teach someone something that I've learned, through the years, if I could teach them in a couple of days, that means a lot more to me than going out and every day and hunting or whatever.
So how do people get a hold of you? Give a shout out for, how do they find you on social media, your website, and all that?
Yep, we have on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. It's all the same handle. It's at Hunting Buddy App, HUNTNBUDDYAPP. Email is huntingbuddy.me@yahoo.com. There's a link on the website. That's pretty much any one of those channels. You'll get a hold of me or one of the team, and we'll get back to you.
So let's recap. Hunting Buddy is for who's it for?
It's for everyone. It's for everyone. It's made for pretty much from beginning to expert, and this is easiest way that I could describe it to my family members, to people that don't really use apps or anything. It has as much or as little technology and use as you want it to. If you want to use every function and feature of it, you could be there for days using it. If you want to just drop where your trail cameras are so you don't forget, that's all that you have to do with it. And that's also another reason why we left it as a free app, because I want my uncle, who only uses it 1 month a year, to be able to have it and have all the features without having to pay for it. And you want, if you are a guide or someone that hunts on
I can't. Can you see that?
Yep.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I just went to Hunting Buddy, and I'm not getting the outfitter plan. I'm just going to get the normal plan. Now the outfitter plan's $29, right? Or the guide plan's $19.99.
Yep. The outfitter is for the year. That one we're going to push. The guide, I think we might be removing. So there was the guide is for ads, but nice. The downloading, I can't see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm going to open it.
Yeah. So the
here you go.
outfitter, yep. So I can't see it, but you click allow. You want to allow the notifications. Usually, what you press on most apps, when you press no, you're going to press yes on this, because you want, this is something you want, obviously, your location to be shared with the app because it's helping you, and you want to use it only when using the app, if that's another pop-up.
I'm being silent, folks, so because it's loading up. Whitetail Rendezvous. Whitetail. You have to have special features for your password.
No, it should just be standard. There's also a feature to log in with Facebook, so you don't have to put in the codes, but should be just a standard password that goes in.
And I'm setting up for the first time, so create a new account. I got it. Okay, so that's my bad. So I do that all the time. You got to set an account, folks. I was trying to log in. It was very simple, and you got to create a new account. My bad. That's on me. And it wasn't. I was silent. I was silent because I was doing the wrong thing. So I'll straighten that out.
You're making me look bad here. Come on.
No, man. I just apologize.
I get it.
Give me a break. And if I'm the first guy to ever do that, well, shame on me. But anyway, and with that, I'm excited to see where this goes. I wish you a tremendous amount of luck. I want to stay in touch and see how we can help you brand your brand and grow the business.
Yes,
Why don't you say goodbye to the folks and give them one more shout out for Hunting Buddy, and then we'll go.
Yep. Thanks, everyone. Thanks all for everyone's support and all the feedback. We love you guys, and this is what we're here for. So if you haven't downloaded it, download it now, huntingbuddy.com. Thank you, Bruce. Appreciate you having me on, and take care, be well, and talk soon.
So on behalf of Whitetail Rendezvous across North America, I'm just thankful for all you listeners to tune in every single day. Our numbers are climbing. They doubled over last week. And so, something's happening with Whitetail Rendezvous. And, we hit a 250,000 earlier this month and, downloads, listeners. And so thank you to all those. And thank you, Joe Rogan. This is fun. I'm looking forward to see how this thing goes. We're heading out to Salem, Utah, and we're going to visit with Michael T. Merrill. Now, Mike Merrill, he hunts up on the Wasatch Range, and he chases elk and deer and whatever he can get a tag for. But more important, Mike decided a long time ago that he needed to get in better shape. He was up there in the Wasatch and had a tag and saw this mule deer buck and wasn't that far away, and took the shot, got the shot, and had to go down in a steep canyon, climb up the other side. And by the time he got there, he realized, this is not going to work out long term. So he changed his habits, and he is a fitness fanatic. But he's a fitness fanatic for the purpose of hunting. There's a lot of people that are fitness for fitness, but he's one of these guys that is fit, one, because it makes it feel better all around, but he is motivated so he can go as hard as he has to go, as far as he has to go, and get his game back to the truck. So with that, Michael T. Merrill is going to be up next on Whitetail Rendezvous.